Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to go over when to ADS spam, when to abuse this mechanic, because I've noticed from watching streams and spectating players in game that a lot of people don't actually understand this mechanic or how they should abusing it. Like, they're aware of the existence of it, but their implementation of it is quite poor. So I'm going to talk about that in this video. If you guys find it helpful or informative, please do remember to give it a like rating and subscribe if you would like to see more. I do live stream Fortnite every single day on Twitch, and that will be linked down in the description below. If you guys were unaware, like, I'm assuming most players know about this, but if you somehow weren't, with the aim assist in Fortnite, if you're playing on controller, when you tap the aim down sights button, it'll lock you onto the person that you're aiming at for a brief moment. It doesn't track or anything, it just snaps to them. Lock was not the right term, but it just like snaps to them. So if you're already basically on somebody, and then you tap the aim down sights button, it'll kind of nudge you in that direction. It won't track them for you, it won't stay with them, it'll just go to them in that moment. But this is very effective when you tap your fire button at the same time that this aim down sights mechanic puts you on the opponent. And when you have first shot accuracy or a single shot weapon like the revolver or the deagle, you can get a lot of easy kills and a lot of good hits on opponents that you probably wouldn't get otherwise. And it really changes how aiming goes in Fortnite, because you don't actually have to be able to really aim at all if you're able to abuse this mechanic with certain weapons. However, lots of players just spam their weapon full auto and then tap left trigger periodically in medium range. And there's times where this can help, and there's times where this can work out and it might seem like it's helping, but I feel like that's just the nature of Bloom in this game. It's random. Sometimes your shots are going to hit and sometimes they're not. I don't think spamming left trigger full auto, or full autoing your AR and spamming left trigger at medium range is the most ideal way to down your opponents. I still think it's very effective with tapping, obviously. Long range taps, really, really good with the ADS spam. The revolver and the deagle pretty much always want to ADS spam them. They're really, really good at that. And then submachine guns or even ARs up close, ADS spam can make sense. But what I'm talking about mainly that you want to avoid is just full auto medium range ADS spam, because it doesn't really seem to work out as effective as a lot of people think it does. The combat shotgun can also work out really well with ADS spam in like close to medium range, more so than the other shotguns since it is so spammy. But what I want to try to avoid, or help you guys avoid, is just the full auto medium range fights, because I think it's really, really unnecessary, and I don't understand why a lot of players shoot their weapons like this. The heavy AR in particular is something that a lot of people do this with. I feel like that you don't want to ADS spam with the heavy AR at all, unless you're long range tapping and you have a delay between your shots. The normal AR, you can actually ADS spam very quickly because you get first shot accuracy back very quickly, even for those long range taps. But the heavy AR you have to be careful with because of its recoil, and it takes longer to reset. So I would just advise not ADS spamming with the heavy AR, but that's just me. But for medium range fights, I feel like you're better off just full autoing and trying to track the opponent. Put the dot in the center of your reticle where you want your shots to go, and then just full auto. And Bloom is Bloom. It's going to be random. Sometimes you're going to hit shots, sometimes you're not going to hit shots. But if you put that dot center mass, just the way the Bloom works, it's a circle, you're giving yourself the best odds to actually hit the target. Lots of people put it on the head, and that can work for the first few shots of your AR burst. But what I like to do is go for the headshots first, and then once you have a decent amount of Bloom, if you're still going to be full autoing, then you want to pull it down onto the body of the opponent, because that's a much larger target for your shots to potentially hit. If you're just constantly trying to hit headshots with max Bloom, half of your reticle isn't even on the opponent at all. So you're going to miss probably half of your shots guaranteed. ARs in this game just come down to minimizing how much Bloom matters. And how you do that is you put as much of your reticle on the opponent as you can. So that's what I try to do. And with people gliding, that's another time where people really ADS spam, because I have a hard time hitting people who are gliding. If this is a problem that you have, I would recommend landing pressure plant, because there's going to be a lot of people gliding, and you'll get used to fighting them, and you'll get used to how you should actually deal with these opponents. If they're long range and they're going in a predictable manner, the ADS spam can work out quite well. The tapping, you want to tap though. If you're ADS spamming, you want to tap. You don't really want to full auto with the ADS spam, because it's just really inconsistent. I feel like people have like a confirmation bias, like it works and then they remember those moments. But long range taps with the ADS spam works fine on people gliding. Other than that, what I like to do is try to get a little ahead of them and then just full auto and track with them after they actually line up with my crosshair. Like, I'll put it where I predict them to go, and then once they come into it, I'll start tracking with them and then start full autoing and trying to track with them. And I get decent shots on people gliding, so I feel like it's something that I'm pretty decent at. I go pressure plant a lot, and I go there in arena as well, so I'm very familiar with that area, and I'm very used to shooting people out of the sky. And oftentimes when players try to launch pad or shockwave away from me, I can full auto them out of the air too. So that's what I wanted to make this video about, just a quick explanation of when you should actually be using ADS spam, because I feel like a lot of people and a lot of controller players, when they talk about this, they just focus on how to actually do it because that makes the most sense. You're telling somebody how to do something, and not enough people focus on when somebody should actually be doing something, when you should actually be abusing aim assist. So I'm going to let the video play out. It's actually a pretty good game I recently got on stream. Like I said before, if you did enjoy this video, please do remember to give it a like rating and subscribe if you would like to see more. There will be a link down in the description, or actually I'll put it as a comment and pin the comment to my Twitch channel. Go there and follow. I live stream every day, and I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for watching. What's up, men's? That kid, dude. I've been fighting him for so long. Probably dead here. I don't really have the mats for this. And I keep fucking up all my builds. I have no builds left. Bad play, bro. Edit from the right.